Specific to Alaska, marine management is absolutely key. We, as a state, are so dependent on our marine resources, whether they be our fisheries, our marine mammals, or just our ability to navigate through our coastal waters, knowing that we have oceans and seas that are strong and healthy is integral to who we are as a people in Alaska. Now, nationwide, when you think about the many Americans that live in our coastal communities that rely on our oceans for their economy, but really for a broader purposes. When you think about where Americans are living, it is predominantly on our coastline and our Great Lakes. So the significance of strong, healthy oceans and our waterways is something that we cannot impress enough. The role of the Oceans Caucus is really to educate not only our colleagues in the Senate, in the Congress, but really to educate our country about the significance of our oceans. Not only the economic significance, but the environmental significance, and really to place that in a preeminent position when it comes to policy discussion. I think it's important to recognize that when we set priorities within the Oceans Caucus, we do it consulting with one another. I have had the privilege to co-chair the Oceans Caucus with Senator Whitehouse from Rhode Island. So you've got the biggest state and the smallest state on both ends of the country, different oceans coming together to say, what are our priorities? And it is not so much a regional thing, that there are different priorities for the Arctic, different priorities for the Atlantic. We care about our oceans, so making sure that we're dealing with the issue of marine debris, to make sure that we are aware and focusing on the issues that impact the health of our nations, or our oceans, like ocean acidification, to make sure that the resources within our oceans are managed sustainably, that we're fighting against pirate fishing, that we're making sure that with IUU fishing and the measures that we put in place just last year, that those are being implemented. So these are good priorities, but they're my priorities, but I think it's also fair to say that they're the shared priorities of our conference. Well, we made great steps forward last year with passage of those 4 measures. Now it's imperative that we make sure that they are implemented and regulated as intended. So just getting them enacted is one thing. Making sure that the implementation moves forward is really our priority with those. And see, we will be following that pretty carefully. Let me give one very specific example as we're seeing play out in Alaska and our crab fisheries. Russia, just across the water, shared waters with us, has been engaging in overfishing of their crab stocks. What that does is, as they flood the market with their crab that they have over-harvested, denying the sustainability of their crab stocks, that then floods the market, the U.S. market, depressing the price for crab, making it more difficult for our fishermen who are fishing in the Bering Sea under very strict quota and working to, again, maintain healthy stocks. But what you have done is, through actions by the Russians that impact the strength and the price of our market here in the United States, it is very much lopsided. So it's again an area, a very specific example of why implementation, enforcement of these IUU provisions is so critical. People think that we in Alaska are so far away, so out of the mainstream. Well, when it comes to the Gulf Stream, we are right in the epicenter, and that Gulf Stream brings to us so much of the debris that is coming from primarily Southeast Asian countries. The significance, the volume of that debris that we see washed up on our shores is really, in certain areas, almost overwhelming. And of course, the challenge that we face in Alaska. Most of our communities are not accessible by road. Most of our communities on the coast are islanded, unoccupied, and so the ability to go in and clean up the debris is very difficult and extraordinarily costly. But we've got an obligation. We just can't let it sit and accumulate. So there is good work that is being done by nonprofits. There is good work that is being done by communities when they can. We need to do more on the resourcing end back here in Congress, making sure that we appropriate dollars to help with marine debris cleanup, not only on the coast of Alaska, but recognizing that all of our coasts are impacted by marine debris. So resourcing, but again, trying to stay on top of this as much as we possibly can has got to be a priority.